Hi everyone. I am Echoes and I'm a VTuber, and I'll be covering Gundam Witch from Mercury's opening, specifically the English version. I was hoping to cover this song at some point, especially since a lot of the visuals have quite a bit of symbolic meaning. But I wasn't able to do it before because there wasn't a version with both the English subtitles and the original MV visuals. But since the English one came out, I'm able to finally do this and also has subtitles, which is really helpful. I'm also playing this video at 0.75% speed in order to be able to better pause on important moments. All right, and we'll get started. So you start off, the video starts off with Slow looking at the starry sky, saying, "As you are now thinking of that star so remote," she's thinking of pretty much some sort of distant goal in mind that is far away from her. The star can also refer to Mercury because Mercury is also very small and also close to the sun, which is a star. Next, it continues, "You're dozing off to be sleeping through with a thought." Pretty much refers to her dreaming of something. In the future, you decide the way you want to stride, wherever you choose to set off to go. Together, I'll be there with you. So it pretty much refers to the Ariel wanting to be with Scylla no matter what she does or where she decides to go. Because if you've read the prologue chapter or prologue novel, it pretty much is from the perspective of the Ariel, and that novel is also shown in this opening as well. So this opening is also from the perspective of the Ariel. And then you see an image of the Ariel, and then you see an image of Scylla here because of the whole perspective as well. And then you see a Gundam pretty much covered in a lot of like grass and it's overgrown and everything. So we're showing that a lot of time has passed. And then we get the control console, which is used to control the Ariel here. Pretty much super like high tech and for whatever reason. And then you see that score. Pretty much shows that Airy here is playing a game on this console. It's hard to tell whether it's Airy specifically or Soletta, but I think a good thing to think of would possibly be Soletta here, especially since the Ariel is looking in on Soletta specifically. And it also says, "You hold old memories asleep in you," pretty referring to the past here, and that she's playing a game using the Gundam console here in the cockpit. And then you have Soletta pretty much looks like she's asleep and she's floating in space. So probably showing a bit of her growth. You then were taken afar, meaning that she was taken away or going to some sort of far off place. And then you see here is where Soletta continues to play the game, and you see the words are "mission complete," showing that she completed it. So young to this star. Deep inside the growing wish about her constantly wanting to go somewhere far away, also to achieve her goals. Held it tight. And then over there in this new place, there's a scenery that's glittering. Pretty much like whoever is referring to is just super excited about going to some sort of new environment. And also you see that the background transforms from this starry sky to this beautiful blue sky. They're showing a change in scenery from space to Earth in some way, or to a different planet. If you could only jump and land in the globe you sight, the globe is probably referring to a planet here. And then you see Slender Airy running forward. And then you have Sletta falling. It's only you so lonely in this domain. So pretty much that refers to Sletta always having been alone, especially on Mercury, since her mom was away all the time, doing whatever work she had to do, and she had to leave Sletta behind. And then you see some sort of pilot in this suit right here. And then you see those controls from before. And then you see, pretty much you have the Sletta Airy, and then you see the shadow of Eleonora in the background. This part has a lot of short clips, so I'm going to try to pause it when I can. And then you have Soletta praying, and then pretty much you have a large shadow, Invoke and Desire. And then you have, oh, sorry, let's go back for a second. Then you have a big shadow. One second. Let's go back again, sorry. So we have the shadow. Why does it keep opening up? And then you have pretty much, let's see, I want to pause there one sec. All right, here. So pretty much you have either Soletta or Airy pretty much floating in some sort of astronaut suit. And then, sec. And here you have pretty much you have two hands, right? So someone is holding on to a smaller hand. So larger hand and smaller hand in the galaxies. And then you have Soletta pretty much on both sides. Hard to refer who's here, but there's definitely some sort of older person with a child. It could be assumed that it's Elnora and Soletta or Elnora and Airy. And dream and hope that you're drawing. Let's go back. And then you see here that someone actually is like sort of waving goodbye, and also you have this space station. Not sure where exactly it's referring to though here. And then here, pretty much that same imagery with Soletta sleeping, and then you have some sort of hand as well. Not really, it's a bit unclear what this is showing here. And then as you see the future, and if you choose to keep marching on, and you have Airy again right here. Instead of running off, which is refers to her motto of, if you run, you only get one, but if you face it on, you get two. And then you have Airy again, and cleared of any doubt. And then you have Soletta with Ariel in the background. Not to be part of those image that someone paints. Pretty much it means that the Ariel doesn't want Soletta to be part of someone else's plan or goal. She pretty much means that, like, not wanting her life to be dictated completely by someone else, which probably is referring to the mother here. And see that they're running freely. You have Airy or Soletta, and then you have older Soletta, and then you have Ariel. And they're all like running, flying, soaring, pretty much showing a form of freedom. And wait one second, that was actually important. Not advancing in the show chosen by someone else, pretty much showing, not wanting to be controlled. You and I ally to write our story, and that together they'll create their own path, which is the story mentioned here. We'll never let you be alone and be gone from your side. Pretty much always wanting to be together. And you see here that Airy and Soletta are pretty much separated here. From episode 6, we got an idea that Airy and Soletta are different beings. They both have the red hair, obviously, but you can see that they're separate. It's not as if the younger version is running with the older one. It's unclear. It's kind of unclear whether this is Airy or Soletta, if it's younger Soletta, but you can see that they're definitely very distinctly different people here. And never let you go and be gone. This pretty much shows like a lot of the loneliness that Soletta has dealt with. Hidden out in the chest, and the day will come. So pretty much it could refer to the cockpit being often in the Gundam's chest area, or possibly even the AI console here. Day will come when your blade will be cutting through all those chains, pretty much breaking the chains that are controlling her. Unbound restraints, being free. Of all times together we'll be fighting together. And then you have the image of Soletta with the arrow, and then either Airy or younger Soletta with the arrow as well. Like always being together with the machine. And then you have an interesting imagery here of this red light, which is the Gundam format tech. It always glows when it's activated. Then you get Soletta. And then you get the younger Airy, or Airy or the younger Soletta. See, and it looks like there's a more determined, and also you see the Gundam also glowing. And then you have that hand as well. Most likely it's Elnora with the younger child. So showing a motherly bond. And brought up with this predetermined fate. And you have the younger child sleeping, which is really interesting. And pretty much it's, in a way, either Eri or Soletta pretty much had their destiny like decide from the beginning. Possibly from Elnora, possibly from other people. And then you see Elnora's here because she has that red hair. Go ahead and crush it. Pretty much wanting to be free from a predetermined destiny. Wanting to be free from control. Breaking free, we were never some puppets to start with. We're not wanting to be manipulated here. You see there's a sad face of someone crying. Not someone, Eri or Soletta crying. See, your realm ignites now. Your future to shine bright. Unbound possibilities, make it what you want. Pretty much you see that Elnora is pretty much in the shadow here. And then you see that Eri or Soletta is facing forward. In a way, she's moving beyond her mother's shadow. As to Scoot, holding up when you ran up to me, pretty much it always refers to how pretty much Soletta always considered the aerial cockpit as kind of like a safe place. It's referred to as a cradle in the novel, as a way that once babies are often cradles because it's considered safe, and once they grow up they no longer need it and then they could move on. So probably like that. And then you see the cradles falling apart as she gets older. And climbed the cockpit and stayed inside, pretty much considering its safe place. The kin sees left them past, no more to cry. Pretty much moving on from the past and moving toward the present. Before I realized you could really be powerful. Pretty much the Ariel recognizing that Soletta has grown up. And you see that either young Eri or Soletta is pretty much always depicted with the Ariel here. It's your life, your story, your way. Pretty much Soletta taking control of her own destiny. It's not owned by anybody. It has no answer that is right. What I like, this is a quite important quote I like, because it shows that there's no quite right answer to deciding your own path. There's no complete right, there's no complete wrong. It's something that you have to decide for yourself. And up to you to walk the route you point at. Mm-hmm. Now the spell is broken. Spell probably refers to the witch. It's some whatever like refers to Soletta and Eri being witches or people who can control Gundam types. And now in a way they have broken free from being cursed because of this house of witch. And now we're about to part with that fiction defined. So we're moving on from the story. And we're about to fly and take off, pretty much be able to soar and become free. And you have Eri Soletta pretty much in the astronaut suit here, again. At a pace no one can obtain ice speed away. Pretty much being able to soar and fly, kicking up the ground, soaring up to the sky with you, covering the future, that curse to grip tight, and changing it by using your own might. Pretty much moving on from the curse of being able to control Gundam types and causing a lot of death and suffering, and moving on from that and being becoming free from her mother's control and also her own previously locked in fate. And you can see the permit, the Gundam arm format activating, and by choosing not to run off by the shroud on, referring to that motto again. You extend the scope of all things you reach out. It's pretty much increasing the expanse of our own world and opening it up. Grow to become so powerful, becoming a far stronger person due to growing so much. Had the hand symbolism again, you have the younger child as well. on this planet you were made to be born, pretty much is already expect that she would be born and everything. And you see that either Eri or younger Sletta is with the aerial here too. Keep on living this world as time is flowing on. Continue to keep existing. And then you see that that younger either Eri or younger Sletta, either the past moving on or moving on from the aerial itself, if it's actually Eri inside. And so you love it all, so you treasure it, and treasuring her own life. May all blessings find their way to you, I'm wishing it. It's pretty much the aerial wanting to bless Sletta and be able to move on and also become free from the chains of her past. So it's in general, this song is incredibly poetic, and it shows just how much the aerial wants Sletta to become able to break free from all that holds her back. So yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's just a really wonderful song. I really like it too. Yeah, hope you guys like that. Nothing too much that's new. Sort of just reiterating what we already know. But it does kind of confirm that Eri and, like, there's two separate beings specifically. Because it doesn't really show Sletta growing up that much, except in that moment when she was in the cockpit. And then growing up from that was probably the clearest depiction of that. But otherwise, it's hard to say. Alright, that's all. Hope you have a good day.